Hey Simlies, it's Deligracy here with another speed build, and this time we're building a wedding chapel, which I'm excited about. I actually bulldozed the museum lot in Willow Creek, and that's where we're building right next to the nightclub there that we're building in my Let's Build series. So that's underway as well, which is very exciting. Probably not ideal to have a chapel next to a nightclub, but hey, it's The Sims. We have limited public spaces, so we'll just turn a blind eye to that. But anyway, this wedding chapel, it's kind of like a garden wedding chapel. It's going to be for my Sims Trinity and Cody from my Sims 4 Let's Play, who are about to tie the knot. And knowing Trinity, my sim, she needs the best of everything. Everything has to be perfect. So we needed to do a special build for her to tie the knot in. So I think this will suit them quite nicely. It's quite traditional. It's for the Sims who want a more traditional gardeny wedding, I suppose. And yeah, basically just it's taking its simple form right now. It's not very complicated, but I did love making these roofs slightly curved. I love the roofing tool in The Sims 4. I think it's awesome and it's just so fun to use. It's so flexible and bendy and such a fun time. But anyway, we're also making the bell tower, although I don't think there are bells in The Sims 4. Are there? Are there bells? Oh, actually, I have a feeling now there might be, but I did not put a bell on this. So it's just a tower. I guess you could pop a bell on there if you would like to. But actually, that reminds me, a few of you guys commented on the last speed build. It was called the Not So Dusty Turf Home. A lot of you were saying that it wasn't coming up in the Sims 4 community, which was really interesting because I definitely uploaded it. And also, a few of you are struggling to find me on there. So I'm not really sure why there's been issues with that because from my end it's saying that everything's uploaded. But some of my builds don't have comments on them, which is interesting. So I think those ones must not be being seen. So I'll make sure to re-upload a couple. But it should be Deligracy for The Sims 4 in the Sims Gallery. Or if you'd like my Sims 3 builds, my name on there is DUSEM09. Weird username. It was created before I started YouTube as Deligracy, so it was just a random name, which I unfortunately was not able to change. So that is why. And oh my gosh, I'm like on the Sims 4 community right now, and someone's made the White House. That is so cool. That looks really, really awesome. Very nice indeed. There's some really cool creative stuff though at the moment that people have been making, and I'm loving seeing all of the custom content. There's some really rad stuff happening for The Sims 4. It's a very exciting time. But anyway, the funny thing with this chapel is it gets smaller and smaller as the speed build continues. Originally, I don't think I realized how massive the interior was. And then over time, we just continue to make it smaller and smaller because it always happens in The Sims where your events, I feel like not many Sims ever go to them. One, because you can only invite a certain amount of Sims to them. And two, because generally Sims don't actually have that many friends. So you don't actually know that many people to invite. So that is why we shrink it down, make it a bit more intimate, so your closest families and family and friends can join the well, I guess tying the knot really. But I love these little flowery windows. I call them flower windows. I'm not sure what they're really called, but the ones up the top there in a row, I think they're really cute. And this doorway to the chapel, we totally changed in a little while. That was just not suitable at all. I don't know why I put that there originally, but whatever. We changed it in the end, and that's what matters. The other thing is we get rid of the rear doorway as well because it didn't make sense to have two doors into the chapel because then they're getting married like in front of a door and that would be a bit awkward. So we get rid of that. And the general color theme for this is going to be white weatherboard, kind of aged weatherboard. I found a lovely wallpaper that I hadn't noticed before. I don't even think it's in the paneling, I guess, category in wallpapers. I think it was somewhere else. I was like, that's really cool. So we used that, and we also use a lot of dark accents as well. So dark brown accents, kind of oaky wood colors. So I know it comes out looking very traditional, and I like it. And we have these windows with the cute shutters on them. Very cute. Very traditional, I think. In terms of Willow Creek, it looks traditional in. I guess other cultures, this wouldn't be a traditional wedding setting at all, but at least in Willow Creek, it is going to look like that. Putting some flower boxes underneath the windows as well. Thought that was kind of cute. Lots and lots of flowers are going to be in this build. There's plenty of garden, plenty of landscaping. I was a little bit frustrated not having the move objects cheat whilst doing this, because you just want to cover plants everywhere. But unfortunately, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that, I think. But hopefully, in the not too far away future, they do add in move objects cheat. Because I definitely think that is something that is necessary in The Sims 4. 120% necessary. Also, if my voice is sounding a bit croaky or a bit weird, I am a little bit sick and very, very tired today. So I do apologize if my voice sounds gross. Yeah, sorry about that. But you know, at least we have a build, at least we have a chapel, so Trinity and Critty can get married. That is a good thing. Picking up the floorboards was actually quite difficult, but in the end we go with white floorboards, and then we have a lovely, instead of like a red carpet to get married on or something like that, we actually go with dark decorative floorboards throughout the chapel. So that was a little bit of fun. Scaled up these lights as well. I love those lights when they're a little bit bigger. I think they look really nice like that. And this is when we're trying out the carpet. And I tried pink and I was like, ooh, kind of looks like vomity pink carpet. I know that's really gross to say, but I had a little crises when I was quite young to do with carpet being pink and sickness. I won't say any more about it because you guys, I'm sure some of you will be eating or whatever whilst watching this. So I won't say anything more, but it's enough to turn me off pink carpet for life. That's for sure. I do apologize for sharing that though. Okay, so I think this is the final size of it. I don't think we scale it down anymore. Surely not. But we might, who knows. I also love changing what would you call it? The roof, I don't know, the roof edging, the edging around the roof. I like that in The Sims 4 you can change that. I think that's pretty cool. And I love this wood flooring in the middle. I think that's so pretty, the detail on it. I love the pattern and the attention to the different tones in that wood is really, really, really beautiful, I think, in terms of graphics. There's some things like that, little things like that make me really happy, and I love how the texture of the wood actually looks like wood from different angles. It's got that nice sheen to it. I've definitely got to say the graphics in The Sims 4 has really impressed me. I think they got the graphics spot on. I think it's a little bit dark, at least on my monitor, when I'm doing interiors in houses. Like, I do find it a bit dark, but it might be the computer screen that I'm using. I'm not entirely sure, but I think a few people have been saying the same thing, so maybe I'm not crazy. I'm not sure, because I did ask in my other video if anyone had been having those issues, and a few of you had been. But yeah, these chairs in here are benches, and I could have gone with fancy plush couches, but I think we make it look a little bit more realistic by having benches. I don't think I've ever been to a chapel or a church where there's been really plush, fancy couches or anything like that. It's always been more benches that are a bit aged or whatever. At least that's to the places that I've been to. So that's why we go with that. Pulling out a whole heap of different flowers and vases and columns and bits and bobs of decor, just figuring out future things we can use. I always find it's easier to get out a whole heap of things that are related to the theme you're trying to create in this instance, obviously a wedding. But I just find that that's easier to pull it all out, and then you can just not have to worry about going through it again. I also found the tea set, but we don't actually end up using the tea set, unfortunately. One issue I did have in this was that the archway that we use, or the wedding arch that I choose to use, it didn't have a color scheme that I liked. Like, I don't know, I didn't want red flowers on it. I wanted it all white, or I wanted it white and pink for Trinity, but there's red on it. So we kind of had to include this red flower theme throughout the whole place to make it look, like it's unified design or whatever. So unfortunately, we couldn't just go with the pink and white theme. We have to go with a bit of red, which some of you guys might like. I don't mind it in the end, but just for the purpose of this being for my sim Trinity, I think she would have preferred just pink roses instead of red. But oh well, not everything goes correctly on the wedding day. It can't be guaranteed, so she'll be fine. Putting in some candelabras there, which are quite pretty. And those flower thingamabobamajigs on the walls we do get rid of because there was just like too much greenery going on around that archway when the arch has greenery running all down it already. So we get rid of that. Scaling up some plants. I wanted roses and stuff to be placed on the edge of the benches because that's quite a common thing in wedding, I guess, decor and design, is to put flowers or candles right next to the benches on the side facing inwards to the wedding aisle. So that's why I'm doing that. And I was trying a few different things. In the end, I believe we put the column plinths. I think they're called plinths. I can't even say that word. Plinths. I think because it's like PLINTHS, I think. Unless I just completely embarrass myself, which I do often on YouTube. Hashtag Derpy Jelly, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. We do put them with some vases on top next to the chairs, so that's pretty cool. And I really want to get rid of those wall vase. What do you call them? Wall hanging flower pots or whatever. It's really funny. Or a lot of people in Australia call plants grown in pots pot plants. Like that's just what you call them. But when I've been seeing that in videos, I've been getting comments, I think, from a lot of you Americans saying that pot plant actually means something a little bit more cheeky in the US. So that's made me giggle in the past. So whenever I see plant boxes, I'm really careful with how I describe it now. We were going to go with some red curtains in here to go with those red flowers. And you know what? It didn't look too bad. I really could have gone down that road, but easy enough to change if you'd like to. We might change that for Trinity's wedding if in the LP I feel like it. I'm not sure, but we go with a more subdued blue, bluey curtain, which is nice. It's a little bit more understated. Not as much of a impact or statement there. But yeah, I actually find it really cool when people do make a statement on their wedding, when they don't, like when someone wears a wedding dress that isn't your typical white or ivory dress, when it's like someone wears red or they wear a suit or something like that. I think that's really cool. I do rate that quite highly. My auntie got married and she didn't go a big dress. She actually went with this gorgeous tailored blazer and skirt. And some of you guys will probably screw up your nose at that, but it looked really gorgeous. She looked awesome. That was a little bit different. I loved that. And then the other wedding I went to recently was a 50s kind of retro wedding. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh, and another wedding, actually. All the boys, like the groom and all of his groomsmen, they all wore sneakers with their suits, and that was pretty cool as well. So it's interesting what people get up to with their wedding plans. I think one of the coolest places to look for wedding inspiration is actually Pinterest. There's some amazing pin boards on there with wedding ideas. So cool. So cool. People are so creative these days. This is weird. We actually put a tree in the middle of the fountain area. And I mean, I just really liked this idea of having a tree there in the middle, but in the end we put a fountain in there because I realized you can get a bigger fountain than the ones I had picked out initially. So it's quite cute. I mean, it's taking place now. It's quite a nice venue, and anyway, I like it. Yeah, this fountain, it didn't really suit the chapel. I don't know. I didn't like the three-tiered look about it. It looked a bit too contemporary or something. So in the end, when we deleted some of that floor tile and actually placed the bigger fountain into that fountain space, I liked it much better. And I was very pleased to find out that you can actually place that object within the fountain area. That was pretty cool. Because I assumed without move objects on you couldn't do that. But I was wrong. It's pretty nice though. And lots of purple trees. I love purple trees in The Sims 4. They look so pretty. And now we're building the toilet block because you know what? When you go to a wedding, even though it's sometimes a glamorous event, people are going to have tinkle time. So that's why we put that in there. Originally, we were going to do boys and girls toilets, but the doors are for both genders. So in the end, I'm like, oh, well, we just need one. We don't need two lots of toilets where both genders can use both. That just is unnecessary in my opinion. So we just make one. And it was really funny trying to find a door that suited the toilet. It actually proved to be a little bit difficult because there's glass on it, so you kind of look through the door to the toilets, although the toilets are closed off, so it's not like you can see anything. But I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. It's a little bit strange, but stranger things I'm sure have happened in Willow Creek. I'm sure of it. We were gonna go with all 4 toilet cubicles, and that would have been pretty like, whoa, a bit of an overkill. So we get rid of it and go back down to 2 toilies. We use the antique toilets. I think they're very nice. I actually have to say, I don't know if this is going to sound weird, but I really like when toilets have a wooden seat. I guess because I love some things that are quite rustic or something. I like that, or I don't know, maybe it's just a thrill of using a toilet seat or something. It's pretty cool. Oh, and those toilet seats where they're like resin and they have like things embedded in them in the toilet seat, like people put like make it look like fishes swimming around or starfish and stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's pretty funny, but they're pretty cool. Yeah, fancy toilet seats. Got to love that. Oh gosh, I must be tired this evening to be getting on to talking about fancy toilet seats. But it's all about getting to know one another a little bit better, isn't it? So it's all good. We're about to get onto the landscaping, and there is going to be a community garden in here. So we do put some garden boxes out, which I don't know, I think they're pretty cute. They've got a lot of floor tiles around them. You can't actually place them straight onto floor tiles, but you can put floor tiles under them after you've placed them, which is quite interesting. There's a bit of a mazy look and feel to this as well because there's a lot of hedges with archways connecting them. I really like the archways that they put in this for gardens. I think it's really lovely how they join up with the hedges. I was very happy about that actually, to find that in the game. There's something else I found that I really, really loved. What was it? It was just one of those pleasant surprises, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. It's going to come to me. Oh, yeah. There's like, just in the decor, there's a gardening toolbox kind of thing, and I thought that was really nice. Pleasant surprise. So we do put a couple of those in the community garden as well. This part here is going to be where the reception can be held. Still don't know what chef items we need, if we actually needed to build a separate building with a little kitchen in it for the Sims to cook food for the reception. I don't know how it works, but there's definitely enough room on this lot to build a few other things. I also had the idea of making a little separate, I guess, bed and breakfast thing, maybe the bride and groom could stay there the night and and sleep in a little country accommodation hut, I guess. So I don't know. Thought that was quite cute. This grand piano is very grand. Very happy that this was in the base game, because in Sims 3 I think we had to wait until late night to get grand pianos, so very happy about that. And we've got a very nice bar there. It's all very fancy schmancy, and we continue to enlarge this space because there just was not enough room there. We needed a bit of room for a D floor, which is a good thing to have. Always need a D floor. I love the D floor. Whenever there's a D floor, I can guarantee I will be on that. Because booking is such a good time. Putting in some tables here. I'm pretty sure those tables actually have gold on the bottom of them, or a goldy texture, I think. Or at least that's what it looks like to me. So we go with the white and the lilac color, because there's a lot of lavender around, or the lavender color. So there's a bit of a theme of white and purples here. It's quite nice. Also going into night mode to put in some lighting around the place. You know, just in case the wedding ventures into the night time, you want to be able to see where you're going, preferably. So that's why we do that. And yeah, it's looking pretty cute. Just changing the interior here, putting in those plinths. Oh my gosh, I struggle so much to say that. So putting those things in with flowers on top, looking very fancy. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the wedding arch. I wish there was something a little bit different from that, but you know, that's cool. I felt like at the back here it needed a bit more support, so we actually put these singular walls behind the chairs, and I quite like that. I think a few of you will probably find that a bit random, but for some reason to me it finished off the space. And also, you know, before the bride walks down the aisle, she needs a little bit of privacy, I suppose. So even though in The Sims 4 they don't do that, it's still nice to think of those little details in any case when you're building. It helps the creativity. But anyway, we'll start going into some screenshots now. Alright, so here's the exterior of the chapel, and you can see the fountain there and the chairs out the back and the kind of mazy hedges going around the entire lot. I'm about to cough, but no, I'm not holding it in. All good. There's a piano, our little outhouse, which is very cute, and yeah, plenty of room to entertain at this slot, plenty of room. And if you're really keen, you can go have a little bit of a sneaky garden in the community garden. I'll actually be interested to see if anything grows there, because it is a community lot. Got some mismatched roses there on the plinths, and yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you are having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.